You're experienced in what this team's feeling right now, the lead up to the first game of the NCAA tournament. Can you kind of give me an idea of what the emotion is when you're waiting for the first game you play in that year's big dance?
Well, you want time to go by a little bit faster. You're trying to suck it all in, so it's sort of a conundrum. You're trying to suck it all in and enjoy the experiences, but at the same time, you want it to hurry up to get to your moment because you're building up a little anxiety watching all these thrillers, March Madness games where there's come up from behind victories and tough defeats, and you're saying to yourself, it's not going to be us. It's not going to be us. So we're going to do our best to do what we can do. So practice takes on a little bit stronger tone in practice. The coaches go into bunker mode, like be careful who you give your information out to because everybody's going to try to get some type of bulletin board material. So the coaches will start smiling at you when they used to talk to you before. Now they smile at you, wave, and keep going because they don't want to put anything out there to give any team some type of momentum. So everything changes about this time.
Does it feel different on the court in an NCAA tournament game than it does a regular season game or maybe even just a conference tournament?
Yeah, because of the build-up. Athletes read all that stuff. They're on every form of social media. They know that the tone of it is different. You walk into the arena, and they may not be sold out, but you can tell the feeling is different because now you're seeing different teams, different fan bases that are sitting over there, and everybody goes for the underdog. So I like the fact that Cincinnati will be underdogs in most of the games if they win in advance throughout this tournament, which means that we will win over the crowd because if we beat Kansas State, and if we end up playing UCLA, we'll be the underdog people's champ, so to speak, and if we happen to beat that, then you got to play Kentucky, and so it's a special moment for them to be in.
Looking at the way the Bearcats are playing right now, obviously a special season, 29 wins on the brink of a 30-win season for only the second time in school history. How good do you feel about where this team is right now leading into the big dance?
Well, Cincinnati has not yet to play their best game. They played some very good games, but they have yet to play a game where everyone is clicking. Troy Copane has had big games, but he hasn't been consistently a big game scorer this year. He's been distributing. Jacob Evans have had games where he has not scored. Kyle Washington has games they have not scored. They have not defended well. They have a big game in them. The two best practices they've had were yesterday and Tuesday. So they've had some of the best practices they've had. Coach Cronin has been very pleased with the effort. So we're hoping that translates to the fact that they feel hungry, they feel disrespected, they feel left out. Same way we felt when we advanced 25 years ago when everybody was talking about the Blue Bloods and these group of transfers that wear the Cincinnati outfit. They're here, they're lucky to be here. They're a Cinderella team when we were actually smashing teams all the way through the tournament.
Do you think this team is disrespected with the 6th seed out here in the West?
Yeah, it's not just the 6th seed out in the West. It's been disrespected all year long. I mean, think about this. From January to beginning of January to March, Cincinnati was ranked 22. They had a 15-game win streak, 22, and all they did was climb down to 18, and then eventually it took them 2 months to go from 18 to 11. 2 months to go from 18 to 11. One loss, they go from 11 back to 18. So it's big disrespect for the Bearcats. They know they have to go out and play the best games against the best teams because people have complained all year long about the lack of quality opponents in the scheduling. Well, they're going to get everything they can handle in this next coming series of games.
People have been looking forward to this moment all year who are UC fans, thinking this team is special, could make a deep run to the NCAA tournament. As a former Bearcat and a guy who is still very much invested in this program, do you think this team can make a deep run this year?
I absolutely believe this team can make a deep run. They have all the components. They have guys that can score down low in Clark and Kyle Washington. They also have great guard play up front. They have great leadership in Troy Copane and Kevin Johnson. Dynamic scorers on the perimeter in Jacob Evans. So they have, and then sixth man of the year, co-sixth man of the year in Jaron Cumberland. So they have all the pieces. It's just a matter of can they all click at once because, in tournament time, it's about who gets hot, and it's not necessarily about who comes out of the gate first. And this is the beauty of Cincinnati basketball. They've had games this year where they've been down big time with no panic. Iowa State, for one, where there's no panic in them. They walk teams down, and they eventually out-execute them down the stretch and win these games, so they're prepared for it.
All right, final thought for me, Terry, would be you're a guy who knows what it's like to make that kind of special run all the way to the Final Four. It's been a long time since this team's done something really special in the big dance. How much do you think the program needs a big moment in the NCAA tournament to really validate everything Mick Cronin is doing here at Cincinnati?
It's been 11 years Coach Cronin has been building this program and trying to gain the respect of those Huggins followers who believe that the best of Cincinnati basketball was behind us. and he's saying, no, we've built this program up. And what we're trying to, the old Bearcats along with the current Bearcats, we're trying to say, look, we're just Bearcats. And we wish Coach Cronin well. We wish this team well. And we hope they have a strong run throughout the tournament to put us back on the map, because it's not just the fact that the old guys want him to fail because it's not Huggins and they're still upset. No, it's like you want to continue to live that legacy. When you go places and you wear Cincinnati, when you're in restaurants, you want people to look at you and say, okay, that's Cincinnati. That's the Bearcats. You don't want them to look at them and say, yeah, there's those front runners who always talk trash and can't fulfill it, they don't schedule, and all this other negative current that's going across. We want Bearcats to win because we are Bearcats.